Hi, welcome back. We are on episode 65. We are really moving along on this. I know it's taken a while because we've been delayed, and thank you for your patience, all of you, because our move, and
Yeah.
we're still trying to take care of all that. But in any case, thank you for tuning in.
So episode 65 is
Mhm.
basically we're going to be exploring the relationship between Yeshua and Miriam, his mother.
Mhm.
So apparently it would seem like it is, mother and son,
Mhm.
but it's a lot more than that.
It's a little
So
deeper.
yeah, we're going to go
Maybe
into some
some.
of the details,
Okay.
and we're also
Mhm.
going to cover the beginning of their new journey to the Far East.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So the whole group is in the harbor of Tyr, which is basically, I
Can
think
you
it's
spell that? What is that?
Tyr.
TYR. Oh,
Tyr,
okay.
yeah.
TR. Okay.
Yeah, so Miriam, the mother, almost did not recognize Yeshua. I mean,
Mm.
I don't know if the people, our audience remember, but in the previous episode, Yeshua had asked Eleazar,
Mm-hmm.
the Apostle John, to basically bring back his mother, sister, and everything to Tyre. And from there, they would be moving to the Far East, taking a
Okay.
caravan.
Mm-hmm.
So she was sitting on a bunch of ropes on the harbor and waiting, basically. And both of them, Yeshua and Miriam, had changed a lot after so many years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Miriam had now gray hair, and she was still wearing her blue veil, as
Mm-hmm.
usual. And she
Mm-hmm.
also had a few wrinkles visible on her face. And she was about, I would say, 56, 57 years old. Um, why do I say that? Because she had Yeshua at the age of 16, and Yeshua is about 40, 41 years old
Oh,
at this point.
okay.
So,
Mm-hmm.
it makes her about 56, 57 years old. And she almost looked like an old woman, but more than her physical appearance, it was the internal wisdom done by her soul that was the most visible.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeshua, to remain incognito, had cut his hair short, and he was wearing the short robe of the fisherman. So
Oh,
no more of the long,
right. Long
long
white.
robe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it was not even
Mm-hmm.
white, but and no more of his long hair,
Right.
flowing on his shoulder. This is now, he looks like a young fisherman. Yeah. His face was incredibly changed also after the 5 years spent in the Carmel School of Mystery. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were finally facing each other, Miriam hesitated a few moments before falling in Yeshua's arms. She did not know what kind of man Yeshua had become. In fact, she only heard about her son through stories more or less faithful, about the Messiah. And sometimes she was even doubting that he was still her son.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Well, I mean, think about it. They have not seen each other for since the crucifixion.
Mm-hmm. That could change you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
5 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeshua goes, "It is I, Mother. It is truly I." And at that point, Miriam is going to take Yeshua's hands. She's caressing them. And then she went to his wrist and placed her forehead against him. And she realized that he has the marks,
The
the
scars.
scars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was really Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also Miriam with all her noble character, her strength and delicacy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeshua is looking at his mother and especially at her eyes, and he found a different light in them, more intense,
Mm-hmm.
deeper, and also more mysterious. So it was obvious that for Yeshua that Miriam had been one of the first beings to be uplifted by the Christic energy. In the weeks following the crucifixion at the Golgotha site.
Mm-hmm.
So why is that? Because again, to remind the audience, when Yeshua was crucified brutally, the Christic energy that he was carrying inside himself went into the earth,
Mm-hmm.
especially under Jerusalem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it went into the earth was to benefit a vast amount of people. at
Okay.
least the people who were ready to receive that energy.
Right.
And Miriam, obviously, was
Mm-hmm.
the first one to receive that.
Mm-hmm.
So his first disciple, Eleazar, had confirmed to Yeshua that his mother, Miriam, had been very active. She's speaking, teaching, and healing wounds. She had really taken her place. And just that fact was enough for Yeshua to justify his retreat and his disappearing.
Right.
I mean, he knew that by disappearing, he would let other people, come to the limelight.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And we know that the Christic energy had left Yeshua, in order to bring other disciples to a higher level. And that was the purpose of it, yeah. So Yeshua remembers some words from Egypt, and he says, you have to always accept to die to hope to multiply. What happens to the seeds of wheat also takes place to the human who is living fully. So after this reunion, the small group, Eleazar, who had been, accompanying the ladies from the Ephesus in Greece
Mm-hmm.
to the harbor of Tyre, Sarah, the sister of Yeshua, Thomas, his brother, and his young friend from Bethany, Maryam, who, I mean, we saw that they fell in love a few episodes ago.
Right.
And Thomas, the brother of Yeshua, falls on his feet in front of Yeshua. And he goes, how many years, Master? 5 or 6? And honestly, Yeshua did not know exactly. He stopped counting the years.
Oh, he
When he
did.
was in the Carmel School
He
of
was being
Mystery,
in the moment. Yeah. Right.
yeah, he didn't care about the years and he stopped
Mm-hmm.
counting them. And he said, stand up, Thomas. And then he goes, are you married? And Thomas does not respond, but show the wrist of Miriam. Yeah. So I'm not going to try to distinguish the Miriam, the Maryam. So this is the Maryam, the girlfriend of Thomas.
Okay.
Okay. And she had her wrist was ornated with the delicate golden bracelet that Yeshua had created one day for
Oh,
Thomas. Yeah,
specifically for her.
specifically for her. So Thomas had given that bracelet to Maryam.
Mm.
And Thomas says, no, I'm not married. I was waiting for you. And in fact, the young couple, Thomas and Maryam, wanted to leave Galilee and follow Yeshua and our mother to the east, to the lake in Kashmir. Yeah, they had enough of the
Romans,
of the Judea and the Romans.
everybody.
Yeah, it was time to
Time
leave.
to
Yeah.
get out of Dodge. Yeah.
And he goes, Maryam, my girlfriend, is strong and she knows us to walk. We came directly from Gennesaret, who is next to the lake, to ask you to take us with you. And Thomas was again kneeling in front of Yeshua, requesting and begging. And Yeshua lifts him up again and says, okay, do not call me master or rabbi, Thomas. I am Yeshua.
Yeah. And, he doesn't want to bring any kind
Yes,
of.
exactly. He wants to remain incognito,
Right.
And Thomas goes, I won't be able to. And Yeshua responds, if you want to come with me, you will have to do it. And the same for your spouse. And Thomas, being always, playing with words, he said, but we are not yet married. So you cannot call her my spouse.
Right.
And Yeshua responds, you are. It is what your hearts are saying and your bodies too. Isn't that the most important? Everything else is just a story of priests, a story of men. But if you insist and want me to play that role, it can be done tonight.
All right.
So it's interesting to see that, in fact, Yeshua sees that those two are already spouses,
Right.
even though nothing has been pronounced,
Right.
from a formal perspective. Yeah. And the wedding took place in the ruins of a Bethsaida outside of Tyre on the road to Damascus. Yeshua blessed the union of Maryam and Thomas.
Oh,
yeah, it was
nice.
for the beauty of the moment and to comfort them about the sacredness which had helped them meet and love each other.
Right.
And it was also for the softness of the words that came spontaneously to Yeshua. Outside of our rituals,
Mhm.
decorations, flowers, and numerous assistants,
Right.
right? There was none of that.
Mhm.
There was no feast, no
Mhm.
food, just true love and union
Mhm.
beyond the world of man. And Eleazar, for the occasion, spread a little bit of water on the head of the spouses and covered them with a unique veil that they had. And Yeshua engraved in his memory this last time with Eleazar because this is the moment where they are separating to never meet again in this lifetime.
Oh, wow.
Yep,
Hmm.
right. Anyway, so the violent reaction of Rome, could also be felt in Ephesus in Greece. And Eleazar was returning there, knowing that many souls were waiting for his teachings and words of wisdom. And Eleazar also was feeling freer there in his body and in his heart.
Hmm.
So we know that Eleazar is homosexual, although he's not physically, doing anything. But in his heart and in his mind, he is an homosexual.
Oh,
And
okay.
he feels freer and more at home in Greece, where this practice has been going on for a long time,
Okay.
rather than in Israel or
Mhm.
in Judea and Galilee, where it was actually
Forbidden.
forbidden and
Yeah.
you could be punished by death. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. So everybody is holding up his tears on that morning. And Yeshua also, for him, it's a relief because for the first time, he's realizing that he doesn't have to carry the world and all his disciples on his shoulders.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, finally.
Everybody taking care of
Yes,
themselves, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had offered them all, the freedom to move forward to those who were ready,
Mhm.
thanks to that crack in the ceiling of human limitations, the light of the living was now accessible.
Mhm.
So, he came and he brought this critic energy, which is now offering the human race another step to go higher.
Right.
Yeah. Now, have we taken advantage of that? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, just a parenthesis also about Eleazar to finish talking about him, since we will not talk about him again. Eleazar, or John the Apostle, was forced to be exiled to the island of Patmos in Greece by the Roman Emperor Domitian in 95. So, after that exile, he came back to Ephesus, where he transitioned to the other side.
Oh.
So that's what
Mhm.
happened to him. Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
And he also wrote, the Gospel of John and other writings, which have unfortunately have not been communicated in great details in the Bible. Yeah.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. So the little group is now composed of Yeshua, his mother Maryam, Sarah, the sister of Yeshua, Maryam, the spouse of Thomas, the brother, and Kadma. Kadma is a female donkey that the little group is walking to Damascus, and her role is to help basically Miriam, the mother, when she's too tired to walk.
Oh, okay. Aw.
So Yeshua knew that once arrived there in Damascus, they would have to join a caravan to go farther toward the east, And he noticed that the road to Damascus was very well paved and wide enough to allow two carriages to cross.
Oh, things have changed.
Yet the Romans had done a good job at that time. Obviously, it was a major artery, between a harbor and a big city. Yeah. And during the walk to Damascus, all the members of the group are praying and letting the divine presence inhabit them fully. And Yeshua was feeling that presence intensely, and he was actually forced to keep his gaze down to remain discreet
Oh, yeah.
and not provoke the Roman troops, which
Mhm.
are still numerous. So every time they were walking by a Roman group, he was keeping his gaze
down.
down, because I think the light in his eyes and gaze would probably have warned them,
Yeah.
or they would have
Some
found
things
that.
you can't hide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So even though officially Yeshua was dead on the cross, he remained alive in a space, a plane that was escaping to the Romans.
Mm-hmm.
So they were worried about that space because of the capability to start an insurrection,
Yeah.
on top of the confusion that the zealots were creating already.
Right.
So,
They're still
the
creating
zealots
it,
are
but
still a
okay.
problem, but
All right, let's get back to the story.
yeah. And that space where Yeshua was, although ungraspable, unattainable by the Romans, since it was only freedom, tenderness, and compassion, could easily be detected, through his eyes. Yeah.
Right.
So the little group is going to finally arrive in Damascus, and they are going to stay the least possible time in the city. So, but they still explore it, and they see rich buildings from very ancient times, large avenues. So this is a different country, right?
Right.
Gardens, very well tended, and of course palaces, which are captivating their attention. And a lot of traditions and cults are also mingling in Damascus, So there is a mixture between Roman divinities and the Greek gods and goddesses,
Oh, okay.
And it looks like this whole group is united and they are mixing their names, creating
Oh, there's
new
a
deities.
synergy, and
Yeah.
they're all, in alignment with each other's
Yes, they
thoughts and
are. Yeah.
beliefs, and it's nice.
And Yeshua is actually touched by this freedom of thinking, And for him, it was more important than it used to be when he was young. I mean, he was not really realizing that.
How important it really
Yes,
is.
yes.
Yeah.
And even noticed engraved on the stone the picture of Zarathustra.
Oh,
The
okay.
famous being with the big two wings on his side. Yeah. And for Miriam, Thomas, and Maryam, it was discovery after discovery, and all of them were marveled, But they had to be constantly on their guards as Rome was controlling everything. So Rome again is patrolling the city of Damascus,
Right.
and they are everywhere. Yeah. So the little group tries to join the great market on the outskirts of the city where all the caravans are starting. And it is near that market that they are deciding to camp, rest, and sleep. So they have a little tent. And Miriam, the mother, is showing some signs of fatigue, and she needed to rest in the shades of the dates trees. And Sarah and Maryam are going to stay with her. And in the meantime, Thomas and Yeshua are trying to find a caravan leading to the right destination, to the Far East.
Right.
And one of the caravan leader tell them, where are you going? To Takshashila? You're crazy. We're only going to Havsamame and then going through Shusham. And do you have money or something to exchange? And Thomas, of course, had a few coins, hidden in his belt. And finally, they strike a deal, and they would leave the day after. And so the night comes, and during the night, the heat is unbearable, very, very hot. And Yeshua tries to get up, and he noticed that his mother is no longer next to him. They are sharing the same tent. And she was a few yards away, caressing a stray cat.
Yeah.
And she watches Yeshua, walking to her. And she goes, "Come with me, my son. I was praying. I do it like that now. When an animal passes by, I pet him, I speak to him, and it seems to me that what I do is better than talking directly to a woman."
I wonder what that's about.
Yeah. And Yeshua goes, "And you are right, mother. I am doing that too. So few people understand that." Yeah, animals can also be an intermediary with the divine. Yeah. And Yeshua continues, "You never told me, mother, why did you come with me on that long journey? I see you so tired. I want to hear it from you. It is more than the insecurity in Ephesus, right? Why did you come? And Miriam responds, you're right. It is not the obeying to the master that you still are, my son, nor the fear. It is the love. I lived so little near you. Not so much the body of Yeshua, but what is inside you, in your heart.
Mhm.
Egoistically, I've always hoped to live hours near you without saying anything, just here, with my eyes closed, to try to rip the veil of memory, just that the energy in me may thank the energy that lives forever in you.
Mm.
And Yeshua think about that and he goes, to thank me? You have never stopped doing it all your life. Even before I was born, when you were a priestess of the Essenian temple, you were already doing it. I remember it.
Mm. That's funny.
Yeah. So even before being born,
Yeah.
he knew what his mother was doing. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And this is also what made me come in your womb, or rather in the heart that beats in that womb.
Oh. Mm.
And Miriam says, you remember it? But isn't it you that has always taught me to thank the living at all instants of our lives? Aren't you the one that said that gratitude is like a flower, which is way too rare in the world, and that you have to reseed and reseed so that everyone can find it on the side of their path?
Mm. Mhm.
What a beautiful
It really is.
image. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So Yeshua is observing his mother caressing the cat, and he sees a subtle ray of light dancing in front of her and surrounding the animal.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically our auras are
The love
probably
energy.
mingling, and
Yeah.
yeah, she's sending
Mm-hmm.
love energy also.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a prayer, a call to some complicity, a heart-to-heart exchange with a complete trust in love. Yeah. And
Mm.
animals are good about
Right.
doing that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're the best, actually. So there was no need for learned lessons or, no roles to unroll and to decipher.
Right.
No need for a temple or,
Mm.
magnificent building.
Mm.
And Miriam continues, you probably do not know it, my son, but it is you who taught me how to pray in this way.
Mm.
It was on the shores of the Nile, and you were still so young, probably 4 or 5 years old, watching you play with pebbles that you were polishing with your hands.
Mm.
Oh, of course, that is the proper way to pray. When the heart is in the hand, it is enough. And Yeshua responds, we are here for each other to help dig into our memory. And when we cannot remember some aspects of our memory, the other person is here to help us remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
So true, huh?
Yeah, very true.
But tell me, Mother, do you sometimes perceive other times, other experience that are coming to visit you and to touch you? So now he's trying to probe her,
Right.
and see what else she has in her heart. And Miriam waited an instant as Yeshua was touching a very secret point in her identity. And she goes, why do you ask me that question? Since you know the answer, Yeshua.
I want to hear it from you.
Yeah. And Yeshua responds, because the soul does not breathe fully and as much as he would like until the words are pronounced, Miriam.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thinking
some-
about it is one thing.
Yeah, but
Saying it
yeah.
is another. Yeah,
There's an energy in those words.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so their exchange is going to stop here as the slumber surrounded them both and probably the cat as well.
Yeah.
And Miriam put her head on Yeshua's shoulder, and he held her exhausted, her body, her exhausted body in his arms, and he also falls asleep. Yeah. So in the morning, the noises of the camels and dromedaries of the caravan are pull them out of their slumber.
Mhm.
And those animals can be very noisy.
I bet there's a lot of
Yes.
snorting
Oh
and
my gosh.
scratching of the ground.
Yeah.
And
So Yeshua was first on his feet, and they had to make sure that to not, miss the departure of the caravan, right?
right.
They had paid for it, and so all this was taking Yeshua back in time when he was a young man,
Did that a
and was
lot.
providing him a lot of happiness. I
Mhm.
mean, Yeshua was actually very excited to do this big trip. I mean, for him, it's like a return on his
Right. Yeah.
previous steps. And so the caravan started, and it was very modest, 5 to 6 dromedaries, with 2 of them pulling a small carriage, which is kind of unusual, right?
Mhm.
Nowadays, you don't see that too much. And there were also 2 mules, and of course, their donkey, also part of the caravan. Yeah. And fortunately, the language used by the nomads was close enough, and so they could have some exchange,
Oh, that's
with
good.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the donkey was also used sporadically to carry Miriam,
Mm.
as usual. Yeah. And so Yeshua noticed that Miriam and Sarah
Mhm.
are becoming happier every day.
Gee, I wonder why.
It's funny, yeah, as we move away from the Roman occupied territories. I mean,
Right.
there are it's like
A relief.
a relief, yeah.
Yeah.
A lid is removed from their head. And Sarah is even laughing, remembering stories of her childhood.
Mhm.
And Yeshua was very surprised. He had never seen his sister like that. Sarah was, in fact, coming out of a vice, and the desert was offering to her that freedom and peace of mind.
Yeah, that's good.
And Yeshua was also very happy because Sarah was finally looking at him and behaving with him like a sister, and no longer like a master and a
Yeah.
disciple.
Mhm.
I mean, I think for Yeshua, it's so important now to no longer be a master.
Mhm.
He's just Yeshua,
Mhm.
the son, and the brother.
Right.
And one day, one night, Bashim, who is the head of the caravan, asked Yeshua, and he goes, "What do you have on your wrist, Yeshua?"
Mhm. Mm.
So Bashim has been
A
seeing
little
the wounds,
observant.
the
Yeah.
scars.
Mhm.
And Yeshua and Bashim are actually drinking a warm, spiced beverage. And Yeshua didn't want to lie to Bashim. He
Mhm.
wanted to be honest. And he said, "Oh, my brother, you know, there are times when the Romans are using brutal methods."
Sure. Say the least.
And Bashim says, "The Romans? Were you part of the Iskari?" Iskaris being the zealots.
Mhm.
"Is this why you're running away with your family?" And Yeshua responds, "I'm not fleeing away, Bashim, and be sure that I have never carried a knife. I'm simply taking my family where we can talk freely to the sun,
Mm.
which helps every day Kiririsha in our work." So Kiririsha is the goddess that these people, those nomads, were revering.
Oh, they were very
Yeah,
revering her.
revering. Yeah,
Mhm.
and she's in fact another. It's another name for Ishtar.
Okay.
Okay. And Bashim goes, "You know Kiririsha?" And Yeshua responds, "I heard about her this morning, and I understood immediately that it is the name that you and your people give to Anahita. I know Anahita." So Anahita is an extraterrestrial divinity that Yeshua met when he was younger, when he had this remembrance of Zerah-Ushtar. So
Oh,
in fact,
okay. Yeah, I don't
the
remember that, but
yeah
okay.
the meeting never took place with Yeshua, but it took
Mhm.
place between Zerah-Ushtar, former incarnation of Yeshua, and Anahita. Yeah,
Okay.
and this is all covered in a previous episode. Yeah. And Bashim continues, "So the Romans nail you to a pole? Is that what happened to you? And just because you were praying Kiri Risha?"
Mhm.
And a group is now forming around Bashim and Yeshua. Other people they are curious to hear that. And Yeshua says, "No, no, no, no. I was not praying Kiri Risha, but the sun. that lives inside her.
Mm. Okay.
And Bashim says, wouldn't you be one of those folks from Galilee that are starting to make waves between Tyre and Damascus? They say that they are more and more numerous to listen to a fool named Saul.
Oh, here we go.
I think. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not want to hurt you. And Yeshua responds, I never lived in Damascus. And Bashim, so you're coming from Jerusalem then? And Yeshua responds, in a certain way, yes.
Boy, he's really trying to like get it out
Yes.
of him. Yeah.
And it's funny that Bashim is mentioning that new religion
Right.
created by Saul,
Mhm.
which has nothing to do
Right.
with the teachings of Yeshua, right? That religion that basically has,
Taken over,
yeah,
unfortunately.
that was, reported in the Bible, yeah.
Mhm.
So the conversation stopped there, and Yeshua is actually quite grateful about that because nature offered some kind of protection and destruction. Something extremely unlikely happened in the desert. Big drops of rain started falling.
Just in time.
Just in time. Big, warm, and dense rain. Everybody, went under their tent and scattered, and Yeshua joined Maryam. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that, to put an end to that discussion that
Right.
was becoming a little bit
A little
delicate,
too deep.
too
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nature decided to just.
Yeah, nature.
So, in truth, Maryam, the mother, had never talked to Yeshua so much. She needed to tell her life with Yosef, her husband and father, that Yeshua had known so little. Yeah, so everybody remembers that Miriam was married to Yosef, right?
Right.
Who was the head of the Essenian temple in Jerusalem. And Yeshua realized at that point that all these lives and existence are like masks in a theatrical performance, right?
We're still in that performance.
Oh, yes. That performance, is made of moving complicities, And Miriam and Yeshua are discovering a beautiful complicity. In a very, very far past, they had been spouses.
Okay. Well, yeah, that kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Right.
it makes sense, right? And in this lifetime, they are mother and son. And as expected, the cycles of reincarnations were always made of the same souls who were exchanging roles as needed, right? But the most fantastic was being able to remember it and to admit it to each other.
Yeah.
Well,
you have to be on the same wavelength.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is what they are doing now. So outside of their tent, the storm continues with lightning and gust of winds. But the two of them continue their introspection and are moving backward in time. And they are going back millions and millions of years before, our current time. And it was before the creation of this world as it is today, long before. And Yeshua says that the stars had not been distributed in the sky the way they are today and swept by the breath of the supreme consciousness. The spheres were still being born for most of them.
Oh, that writing is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the masculine and feminine forms were ignoring their existence. And the souls had been polished at that time through a lot of existence and the succession of many universes to the point that they had become translucent. And it is at that point when they became translucent that they finally recognize themselves as the two torn parts of the same initial reality, of the same being that was trying to be whole. So their fusion was therefore the only possible way now. And the gate of the eternal completion of the primal androgynous and of the divine was crossed. So they became one facing the white fountain. The power of love made this unity explode and flourish. Somewhere, a new world, Eretz, was born, the planet Earth.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
that's the um, Hebraic or
Mm-hmm.
name, yeah, for the planet Earth. Yeah, it was there on its surface by choice that their unity was going to be infused in two beings which were separated. It would be two souls issued from the same diamond,
Mm.
but this time without the lack of each other, free and ready to meet or to part, and even to procreate in the density,
Wow.
all for the service to
Mm-hmm.
love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's really
yeah, that's very deep.
very deep. Yeah.
So yes, Yeshua and Meryem admitted that they were the two faces, the two poles of the same spirit,
Mm-hmm.
who from time to time would unite their tenderness to be the cup of the breath of life.
Mm.
So they had been spouses in the past,
Right.
but in this cycle, to finish that cycle, of the Pisces, right?
Right.
They
Like a
had,
Sinian, yeah.
yeah, or to start actually the Pisces and to finish
Mm-hmm.
the Ram cycle, they had to come as mother and son. Yeah. So Miriam was Yeshua, and Yeshua was a Miriam. So in the morning, Yeshua has an immense gratitude for Miriam, his mother. He had actually waited a long time for such moment, and at that point, Miriam had accepted to no longer play the role of the mother or the disciple by recognizing to be the twin soul of Yeshua.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, in the eternity of the universe. So she was accepting her dimension as
Mm-hmm.
an Afshtara and her capacity to be the mother of all peoples. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. How many more episodes do you think we have? Like,
I don't
where
know.
are we going?
This is 65. We'll probably go to episode 70, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
5 or 6, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going
Episodes.
to
Yeah.
dive maybe a little bit more deeper into that, you
Well,
think?
unfortunately not, because
Oh, darn.
yeah, Miriam is gonna be transitioning in the next episode. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, let the cat out of the bag on that one.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Better
And that's
stay
why
tuned for that.
it was so important that those two
Had this
had this
conversation this time.
conversation and
Yeah.
this reconnect.
Understanding.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they are not twin flames; they are twin souls.
Twin
Okay.
souls. Totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twin flames don't get
I
along
know.
usually.
Yeah. People tend to get confused sometimes, or
Yeah.
mix the two
Mm-hmm.
terms. It's completely different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
Well,
right.
well, thank you. And thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next time.